Hey everyone, and welcome to Fermentation Friday. Today I'm going to prove just how comfortable I have become with ferments, and I'm going to attempt to salvage the really disgusting Kham Yeast concoction that I showed you guys last week. It's been a bit of a hectic week. I was away for the weekend and I've just been really busy so far this week, so didn't get to trying to salvage the pickled tomatoes that was the Kham Yeast mess until now, and it would have been better if I would have done it when I got back from the weekend. I took the lid off and it smells really good. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to do this. You know, it's been probably 12 days now. 10 to 12 days, somewhere in that range. And it's like the pickle is like perfect, you know, the bubbling slowed down, but at the same time that Kham yeast layer in the last like day, I've seen a little bit of it start to sink in like chunks. So I don't know. I don't know how good this is gonna be. Obviously there's a lot of proof that I'm a lot braver when it comes to trying these ferments, because you know, when I first started this fermenting journey, straight into the garbage. There wouldn't be any tasting. One thing that the Kham yeast does is it can make the pickle itself really bitter. That's like why when you read some sauerkraut or like some pickle directions, they say you put a leaf down on the top. It creates kind of a seal. It keeps any of the flavor impurities from kind of sinking lower, and they'll say even to use like multiple leaves, kind of get a little bit of a stack up there, so you know, if you have something like this, it's not gonna make the entire ferment go off in flavor. This recipe, I was pickling green tomatoes. My plan for these pickles was it was going to be a salsa. There's a mix of onions and garlic and the green tomatoes. I was thinking that I could chop it up in my food processor and it could become like a kind of, you know, salsa verde, a home fermented salsa verde, something that like I'd eat pretty quickly. It was just, you know, I had the green tomatoes, I had to use them up somehow, so it seemed like a good way to make a quick to eat snack out of it, and then also get to continue to experiment with my fermenting. So because it is a recipe where I'm gonna like take what I fermented and chop it up, if the flavor hasn't permeated into the tomatoes and kind of like made the entire thing disgusting, there is a good chance that I can salvage it, because I can basically just rinse it, keep the fermented tomatoes, and then just chop it up and eat it right away. It doesn't have to be something where I worry about putting it into a fresh brine and then, oh, it got the Kham yeast again. So there is logic to my even thinking of trying to do this. So wish me luck. I know it's not poison. I know it's acidic, so I know it's not poison, but I tried one of them when it just first started to get, even like before I even made the video, when it was like, oh, there's something going on, you know, hopefully there's nothing bad, and it was like, blah, disgusting. So there's a good chance at this point it's super disgusting, even though it smells quite good, but fingers crossed. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, so this is not smelling as good now that I've poured that top layer of yeast off. It's smelling a little bit more off. You know, a lot of this is done by scent, so if it smells at all like, you know, rotten food, that's a sign you don't want to do it. It is, at this point, it's hard for me to say that I don't want to try this, just because this was done with green tomatoes, so the green tomatoes themselves they're a little bit more acidic and they have like a weird smell to them anyways, but I am familiar with them, so I'm gonna keep cleaning this. One thing I was worried about was it seeming almost a little bit slimy when I was pouring off the brine, but it could have just been some floating tomato seeds, because it's not feeling weird at all. Yeah, I mean, the brine, it smells normal on my hand here. Tastes sour and garlicky and good. Alright, so I'm just gonna dump this into the sink and try to keep some of the bottom layer. If you can see this, you know, looks like maybe there's a bunch of sediment that got onto the bottom that I don't necessarily want coming out of this jar. Which is too bad, because that's where all the garlic is. But, oh my god, it smells so good. All the garlic and onions on the bottom. Okay, now I'm really hoping that I can salvage this. I need to grow more garlic next year so I can do an actual just jarred pickled garlic. It smells so good. And it's definitely like the best part of the pickled beans. You can kind of see it, it's gone quite cloudy, but this brine was really pretty. The onions that I used were red onions, and I picked up the pink out of them, and it looked really nice. I'm also not too worried about this being done in the sink, which isn't necessarily very sterile, because of what I was saying, this isn't gonna have to get kept. Okay, back this up a bit, so you can see my face if it's absolutely disgusting. Because it was definitely one of those type faces when I tried it before. It smells good. I don't know. That tastes pretty good. Tastes like a little bit of sweetness, like what you'd expect in a green tomato. And then, you know, then obviously it's less sour than the pickles because I just rinsed off a bunch of the brine. You know, I'd expect there to be a little bit of a bitter aftertaste. And there's not really anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. Tastes pretty good. Okay, now I have to try some of this onion. Oh, that tastes really good. Can't eat too much. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I'm paranoid. I mean, that definitely is one of those things that I've said over and over again. This is like me being like, whoa, can you believe how comfortable I am with ferments that I'm even trying this? So, obviously, I'm not going to eat that much of this tonight. I'll wait and see if that's going to make me feel bad at all. But, you know, it tastes good, so I think at this point I'm going to throw it in like a container and throw it in the fridge and save it, and as long as I don't get any like gut rumblings tonight, then, you know, I'll eat some of it tomorrow. I'll definitely swipe those onions out of there even if I don't do the green tomatoes. So I was actually pretty surprised how that went. I definitely did not expect that to actually taste good, and I mean, that was really bad. I mean, if you haven't seen it, check out last week. I'll throw one of those card things up there. But yeah, like, it was not cool what it looked like when I just poured that out. So, you know, I am surprised that the flavor wasn't affected at all. So I know this is a little bit of a Fermentation Friday cop-out, and I apologize. I have a few other ferments on the go that are longer ferments. I have some apple cider vinegar that I've been working on for about 6 weeks, and I also have a few other, you know, multiple week ferments. Things have kind of cooled down in my house, so the ferments aren't quite happening as quickly. I also have a couple kombucha experiments on the go that I have to share with you guys, and I also have some Christmas stuff that I'm crossing my fingers will be ready in time for Christmas, so I'll have some of my Christmas ferments coming up as well. So don't forget to subscribe to join us next Friday, and make sure if you know something that I don't know about why I shouldn't be eating this, let me know in the comments. All the research that I did told me that it was safe, but yeah, like, maybe I'll hold off on eating this until I post this, and then if like any of you are like, oh my god, don't do it, don't do it, then I'll just be like, okay, like I'm the beginner, I'm not the expert, so okay, so I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you next Friday.